Good morning guys, and welcome back to Damo Drives, bringing real reviews to real people and answering some of those questions other channels might not talk about. I've come down to Cupra Hendy here in Brighton, well, for the third time to pick up the new Cupra Born. I did an initial video when the car first came out. I then did another one and took it to a car show and got people's opinions. And now today I'm doing something a bit different. It does involve the range, but it's not how far can you go on this particular car. It's more about what's the real world battery usage on this car. Right, let's get going. It's time for sporty mode. Rather than driving around in eco, we're going to be driving around in sport and accelerating a bit harder, probably a bit more fun. Sat nav is set up again for the same about 60-mile route. I've got some totals here, so we used 23% in sensible mode. We've got 59% battery left. By the time we got to Lewis, Tesco's, we'd gone from 82% to 78, so that's 4%, which is pretty low. And then from there, all the way across to Beachy Head, we used 13%. So let's see what happens, because I haven't got a clue. I need to be a little bit mindful of mileage, because I don't want to run out, because that would be embarrassing. So we're off. We are off for number 2, trip number 2. Let's get out of here. Let's change over to sporty mode. You press the car, driver profile. So rather than comfort, we'll go across to performance. So that changes a few settings like throttle response and steering weight. If you went for the sort of optional adjustable damper type thing, it would firm everything up there. That's, if I was going to get one, I'd probably go for that. Because I mean, it's okay this. It's only when you start pushing it I could do with a bit of a firmer suspension. So get out of this junction and we can accelerate off. It's a pretty quick car, to be honest. It's the mid-range torque that gets you with any electric car. It's not really the 0 to 60. It'll be interesting once we get onto the twisty bits of road and the hilly bits of road how this car copes. So I need to remember 59% because I didn't write it down. Oh, that's not good. Now I'm nervous about forgetting a number. Let's have a look at this. Well, not quite a 0 to 60, but just a mid-range acceleration. So we're doing 30 mile an hour, foot down, 50, 60. So that's pretty impressive, considering this isn't the performance version of the car. So if you do want a bit of extra grunt, you can option in the e-boost. It's like £700 more. But if you went for the bigger battery model, comes with e-boost as standard, but it's not as quick as the 58 kilowatt with e-boost because it weighs like 150 kilos more, which is very, very heavy indeed. We've got a small traffic jam ahead of us. Hopefully it'll be better a bit later on, and then we can push on. I can understand not pushing on this hill because it's very, very steep. There's lots of cyclists, blind bends. Talking of cyclists, this person's having a break. I remember trying to cycle up here on a mountain bike with the world's biggest tyres. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I hadn't ridden a bike in like 10 plus years, and I thought, oh no, I can easily go up there. What a fool. I couldn't easily go up here. I mean, I did it in 2, so I was impressed with that, but yeah, it's a very, very steep hill, this. Here we go, we're back in Lewis and it's time to go to Tesco's car park again, park up, and we'll see how we've done with the old percentage battery used. Can't remember the exact number, but luckily we wrote it down earlier on, so I can see what we used in boring mode compared to a more sporty drive. I've not managed to push it that hard though, because of, well, traffic and safety. Yeah, it's a bit difficult. I am trying to put my foot down as and when I can. I like that surge of power. Here we go. Here is Tesco. Let's go and park up. Let's have a look at these numbers. Not sure where I'm going to be able to park. Quite scary if we got the same spot. Well, very nearly the same spot. That is definitely quite surprising. Should use my reversing cameras more. I can't quite, for some reason, always look out the back windows. I suppose I haven't got reversing cameras on my car, so I'm not quite used to it, but I think we're only about 20 metres or something away from where we parked first time round, so that's very convenient. There we go. Let's put it in park. So engine's off. Let's have a look. So first time round we went from 82% to 78. So that's 4%, which is pretty impressive. Here we've gone from 59% to 53, so 6%. So it's only used 2% more over that journey. Wow. That's not a million miles away, is it? Wasn't the longest trip, but onwards and upwards. It's off for boring driving bits now, on to the dual carriageway. Let's get going again. Oh. Yeah. Right. For some reason I went up there last time, so I'm going to have done about 200 metres less, but hopefully you'll forgive me on that one. Well, you might not do, but I apologise if that is the case. Now I want to talk about owning an EV, because I am actually considering getting one, which is possibly a bad idea. There's a few reasons for this. One, I want to know what it's like living with an EV properly, not getting one for a few days. That gives me sort of an idea, like we're doing today, but not living with one. And the concerns I have are probably the concerns many of you have, is I don't have anywhere to charge it. I rent the property I'm in, so I can't install a fast charger. Even if I could, I don't have a driveway, so I can't park it there. And I've got to rely on public infrastructure, and I know it's going to get better, but at the moment is really bad, to be honest. Unless you're in a city or a town, something like that. Around me, I've got the options of Tesco's, 5 or 7 kilowatts, so it's going to take like 8 hours-ish to charge the car. In fact, sorry, correct that, 6 hours 15 for the smaller battery, 7.5 hours for the bigger one. I can't leave it in Tesco's car park because you get a limit of 3 hours. There is a fast charge station sort of near me, 2 of them, and that's it, and more often than not they're out of order. After that I have to travel about 30-mile round trip to fill up the car. That's not good. I'm not expecting to go long distances in the thing. I mean, I'll probably do a couple of miles of EV travelling just to the supermarket, take mother-in-law shopping, take the dog for a walk, so I don't go that far. Longer distances, I have just bought a Mini R53, so I can do slightly longer trips, although it's a bit of a stripped out modified car, so it's probably not great for that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting one, to living with one, something different. And if you're in a flat, you're going to have exactly the same issues I'm going to have. It's not long until you'll only be able to buy new EVs, 2030. So that's only 8 years away. Yes, the public charging will be better by then, but I don't think it's going to be good enough for enough charge stations to let everyone charge up. Once we get more and more electric cars, we're going to need more and more chargers. So it's all going to be interesting. I'd like to know your thoughts on this because it is a bit of a hot topic. Teslas are pretty good at that, to be honest, but I've not seen any Tesla charge stations near me, and buying a Tesla is not exactly cheap. They are considerably more than this Born. I think this V3 spec is about 42 roughly, so that's with all the trimmings. There's no way you're going to get a Tesla for that sort of money. So this is where it gets a bit more exciting. We're getting out of Eastbourne town and we're on to more tight and twisty and exciting roads. So hopefully I should be able to push it a bit harder. We can, yeah. It's quick. It does move around underneath me though, but it's a heavy car. It's like nearly, I think it's 1.8 tons, 150 kilos more if you get the bigger battery option. But it handles things relatively well. It's quite smooth over these bumps. It's not unsettling it. I said it's just the weight of the car. Maybe it might be a bit better if you had the adaptive dampers and can firm things up, but you cannot disguise that amount of weight. Well, not easily anyway. I mean, the brakes are okay. They're not very inspiring. As I mentioned earlier, it's that transition between regen and proper brake. It's feels a bit spongy. But once you go beyond that transition point, it's pretty good. Whoa! Yeah, those brakes works pretty well. Now that sent my heart rate slightly up. And relax. That was not the most sensible bit of driving I've encountered. But we stopped absolutely fine, so I suppose it was okay. Right, some more interesting roads at long last. Not a huge amount of traffic, there are loads of people everywhere. But let's see how we get on. It's all about putting a smile on your face. Cupra is about being sporty and typical, absolutely typical. There's cars everywhere. Yep, there we go. We can progress at long last. Only for about half a mile, but definitely worth it. See how we get on with these really tight and twisty bits. Handling well. Still got a decent turn of acceleration, and even at 50 mile an hour. Now this will show up any issues in the chassis because this is so twisty, this bit. And okay, it's maybe understeering slightly. All that weight is just dragging the car wide. So there we go. So I had about a minute and a half of driving quickly. Always the way, isn't it? So we're going to go into the pub. Well, not into the pub. Into the pub car park. And we'll have a look at battery usage. You know what we used before. Again, I can't remember what we used before. We'll just do a bit of a comparison before heading back to Handy on some longer bits of road. Right, what are we on? Let's pull over. Let's stop the car. Put it in park. Engine off. Right, 40% battery. We started, please bear with me, 59%. So we've used 19% battery. Whereas when we were here before, we used 13% battery. So 6% in it, and we were pushing a bit harder at times. So not that different, but I think if I had have had the chance to push quite a bit harder, those numbers may be even lower. But it's time to head back, as I said. We'll see what the final numbers are. Luckily, I don't think I'm going to run out of electrons. I mean, 40% says I've got a range of about 82 miles. Now, the whole trip was only 60 miles, so I don't think that should be too much of a problem. Right, we're coming to the end of our little experiment. The same route twice, 60 miles, one driving in comfort, eco mode, not really accelerating that much and trying to eke out as much as possible. The second time round, sport, accelerating as much as I could and having a bit more fun. Although it was ridiculously busy on most of the roads. But let's park up and see the distance, or how much battery I should say, that we have used. I've got to find somewhere to park. So the first sensible boring mode, we used 23%. I was sort of expecting 25, so not a million miles away. But I didn't really have an idea of what I was going to be doing when I was progressing on. So we left Hendy for the second time with, I think it was 59% battery. This time round, we've got 26% left. So 26 minus 59. Why can't I do this? What is going on in my head? 26 minus 59. I should be able to do it. 33%. So we've gone from 23 to 33. So that has used 10% more battery. So we knew that was going to happen. 10% more battery, which is a third more from doing the same trip when you are putting your foot down. Anyway guys, that might be of some use. It's actually quite useful for me. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Comments are always welcome, and remember to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.